Welcome, it's Domain Dave again from CheapWineFinder.com with another wine. It's a new wine. There's been so few new wines in the last year and a half that I saw one today and I was all excited. And this is even fun. It's even more reason to be excited. It's the 19 Crimes Martha Chard 2020. The Martha in Martha Chard is Martha Stewart. If you don't know 19 Crimes, they're an Australian wine company. The 19 Crimes in the name is the 19 offenses that in Great Britain, if you were convicted of, you got sent to the Australian penal colony. It's the 19 crimes that populated Australia, and they're kind of embracing their outlaw image. I'm going to take a sip of this Chardonnay because it's pretty good. And there's Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's got a red blend and a rosé, and both of those are from California. Most of the wines are from, almost all the other wines are from Australia, and they're really good, and they often get 90 points in magazines. And these are wines that you can find at wine shops, but also in grocery stores. These are widely available wines, and they do a really good job. They're on the label. They usually have a convict, somebody who was from the original group that came over, and then they have a picture of who that person was and why they were there, and a little bit of a history about them. They even have an interactive thing you can do with your phone where you can find out things about who these people were who got sent to Australia and who were the founders, basically, of Australia on top of it. And the weird thing about it is Snoop Dogg, he's on the wines, and I put Cheap Wine Finder, we did both of their wines, and I did a link to at least one of them. So if you want to find out what they're about, check out CheapWineFinder.com, and there's a couple podcasts about them too. And Snoop spent some time in jail when he was still in a gang before the Chronic dropped. So he's got, he's a criminal like all the rest of it, and which is the funny thing about Martha Stewart. She did 3 months for insider trading, so she fits in with all the convicts, which is kind of funny. Martha Stewart, who at one point, I don't know if everybody remembers who she was, but she was like the diva of households, how to cook, her furniture, her bedding, everything. Martha Stewart approved stuff was like letting people who didn't have their game on, it gave them some game. So there you go. So now we have a Martha Chard. The website doesn't tell you much about it. I mean, almost nothing. It's about icons and trendsetters and stuff. Took another sip because it's actually the kind of Chardonnay I like. I think it lists for $11.99. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I paid for it. It's brand new wine. There's not that many new wines out. There's no reason to cut prices on these things yet. But $12 would get you a really nice Chardonnay nowadays, especially California. And 19 Crimes is owned by Treasury Wine Estates, and they own Penfolds and BV and Beringer and a whole host of other wines. They have good holdings in both Australia, New Zealand, and in California. So they have vineyards to choose from, and I don't know how much Martha was involved in the making of it. I imagine she was tasting it. Why would she not if she's going to put her name on it? I imagine this is Martha Stewart approved. And like I said, this is a good wine. I'm going to take another sip. And it's like I said, the website says nothing. And I was looking around finding people who wrote up a few things about it already, and there's a lot of things about oak spice and butter and that type of thing. I thought, okay, it's going to be oaky, and it's not. There are some oak flavors. I found some butterscotch. There's a little bit of spice, but there's also apple and lemons and limes and orange blossom honey and guava and that salty Anlise thing. Anlise when they leave the dead yeast in the tank and stir it up a little bit. And Gives you that little salty sensation, and the flavors keep on rolling right along. The acidity on this thing is really good. That's one thing acidity does, is allows the flavors to unfold, and the mid-palate is about as long as the body of the wine. So this wine has some good length to it, and that's something you look for in a Chardonnay. I mean, yeah, you like the flavors that unfold, which I do, but you also want the flavors to last long. You want the acidity to allow this thing to go for a ways. And it does have that. I mean, the grapes were good enough that it could do what it's supposed to do. It didn't run out of flavor. It didn't run out of changes to make. There's a nice little thing on the end, too. I can't really identify it. I put what I thought it was down there, but it's like a really appealing thing at the end of the flavor. Not on the finish, because I don't write finish anymore because it was too hard too few wines actually had a decent finish. But there's flavors that kind of linger there, and it's kind of nice. I guess that is a finish, but I'm being stubborn. But there you go. So this is a Martha's Chard, 19 grinds, Martha Chard 2020. It's a good tasting wine. I mean, it's a solid Chardonnay. Doesn't cost a fortune, $12, and it packs a wallop. It's a pretty good Chardonnay. I would recommend it, and I like it. So that's it. So that's it from me, Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com. Like us where you like your podcast, if you will. Keep it cheap, stay safe, stay healthy. And what else is there? What do I have come up next? I think a red blend from Washington State. So adios, stay warm, and I'll talk to everybody in a couple of days. So bye-bye.